grow big and round glutes, no matter if you're a male or a female. Let's get after it. Exercise number 1 in rotation is the RDL. So we can do this with a barbell, we can do it with a dumbbell, or we can do it with a machine. So I'm gonna get Haley to step forward here. I'm gonna talk you through some coaching cues with her doing the dumbbell RDL today. All right, so in the starting position, chest is lifted, slight bend in the knees, and then all she's gonna do is think about taking her hips back. So take your hips back, keep the dumbbells tight to your body, stretch the glute, now up. Now I want you to come all the way through, fire the glute. Right there, 1, good, go again. Back is flat, a little more control out of the bottom. Perfect, glute, yep, perfect. Now, if we want to keep this all on our hamstrings, I always have her stop short. So go down and you'll come right up to my hand. To there, stop. Good, now go down again. Give me 2 more of these. There, and that's going to keep most of this on the hamstring. 1 more. And perfect, set them down, perfect. Now, what you'll notice that with her is we think about tracking the hips backwards. As she gets lower into the hole, she gets more knee bend. And that's going to give us more glute, more hamstring activation. But we want to keep the quads completely out of this. That's how it differs from a true conventional deadlift. So we think about track the hips back, back flat, get a good stretch but not overstretch. So I'm going to Chaz a step back. I'm going to show you what I mean by overstretch. All right, so most people assume RDLs, the more range of motion, the better, right? So what they'll do is they'll go all the way down here. Well, look at the posture of my back. That's going all to my erectors and not on my hamstring and glute nearly as much. So we want to think about here, narrow stance, push those hips back, keep the dumbbells glued to my hips and my knees and my legs, and then we come up, bam, fire glutes if we want to, or we can keep on the hamstring. Here, that is my active range of motion, not this, that's erector. So we're here, staying on the glute and hamstring, up to here, just like that. Next up is going to be the glute bridge, and this can be done on a machine like we have here at Elite with a Nautilus piece, or we can go and do a barbell glute bridge, which we'll post here. So we get her to hook her hips in with the belt. Okay, so from this starting position, she's going to push up through her legs, handles forward. Now she'll bring her heels to her. Now from here, this next thing, she wants to be thinking about getting punched in the gut, so abs tight, chin glued to the collarbone, and then now we're going to go down and then come up. Bam, 1, 2. 1, 2. Focusing on that glute contraction here. I'm gonna get him to swing around to the side and show where her knee is gonna be perfectly stacked over her ankle. So with this glute bridge, what we wanna think about here is so many people wanna get a ton of range of motion and it turns into a hip thrust. We wanna keep our hamstrings and our quads out of this as much as possible. Now, even if you do it the right way, the way Haley was, it's still gonna get some hamstring and quad, but we wanna keep a majority of that tension on the glute. So pay attention to her range of motion, where her feet were placed, and then how her knees stayed over her ankles at almost all of that range of motion. So, and at the top, obviously we want to fully shorten that glute and contract it to get the most bang out of it. So with this exercise, it is by far going to be a power exercise in my opinion. I like to be explosive with it. And then for my back offset, I like to really slow it down, nail the contraction. But I want to really build this exercise as heavy as humanly possible. So you figure she's a 112-pound female. We want to build that up to where she's doing 4 plates on this piece for 8 to 10 reps of her top set. So this exercise is going to pack on the muscle to the glute. All right, next up is gonna be a split squat. Now, you know John made famous the Bulgarian split squat of death. I love that exercise, but how can we elevate this and make it all glute, or a majority of glute for her? Being a bikini competitor, it's extremely important, so I wanna take as much of her quads out of it because her quads are actually a strong point. So we wanna de-emphasize the quad, emphasize the glute. So we have a wedge here turned backwards. I'm gonna get her to put her front lead leg that we're gonna work on the wedge. Good, so that's gonna bias her glute. Take a step back. We're gonna get forward tilt. We're gonna keep the knee snapped over the ankle, and then we're gonna come up. So whenever you're ready, give me a couple of these. Good, so we wanna get as little knee flexion as possible. We wanna think about knee over ankle, stacked, and we're drilling that right side glute. We'll do 3 more here. 1, 2, and 3, perfect. So if you look at that form there, it was absolutely perfect. Now, what we'll do to load this is we could put a yoke bar on her back, we'd have a dumbbell on the non-working side leg, or we could even do this against the band. So great ways to stimulate that glute. Prop that toe up. If you don't have one of these fancy ramps like we have here at Elite, just simply put a quarter under your foot, meaning a 25-pound plate, stack it, put all the weight on that heel, load the heel, then drive from it. I'm telling you, this is gonna go from an all-around leg builder to just absolutely hammering the glute. 4th exercise, rounded back hypers. And you're wondering, why may I have these blocks in my hands? Well, if you have someone who is under 5'5", most of these hypers are not set up properly. So for me, all the way down is gonna be good. I'm 5'10". Something just isn't right there. There's a whole group of people way below 5'10". So what we're gonna think about here is when Haley demos this, I'm gonna put these under her heels, and now I'm gonna get her to step in and show you as we talk through the coaching cues, that I want to think about when I'm doing this exercise. All right, cue number 1. See our feet are straight ahead. We want to kick those things out. Up, that's all right. Toes out, good. Now from here, okay, she wants to think about taking her upper back, rounding it like she's punching the stomach, chin to collarbone, and then using only the glute, come up and squeeze at a full contraction. Right, that's perfect. If you can see the curvature of her spine come up, look how that is. That's perfect. This is all on the glute, nothing on the erector. Good, give me 3 more of those. Just like that. Use those glutes, squeeze, shorten, and we're gonna hold the top for a 2 count. And up, 1, 2, last one and we're done. Rounded back hypers. I love to start glute day with this. I love to finish it, and I love it in the middle. This is probably, of all of them, one of my favorites because it's so easy to connect to once you know the form. Then the second most important in my mind is gonna be the glute bridge. That's gonna be where we're gonna load the glute the most and get the most bang for our buck in terms of weight, rep, and productive all-season growth. So these 2 exercises, honestly, all 4 of them are great. And if I can only pick 4, this is what I'm gonna do every single week for glutes, no matter if you're a female or a male, because the number one thing, in my opinion, it doesn't matter when it comes to training intensity and weight, men to women. It doesn't. And if your trainer or coach or person you follow does, they're a moron. There's obviously certain muscles that women I would never train on. Traps, a lot of chest. I usually don't do a lot of arms with women. But in terms of pushing them, especially lower body, shoulders, back, we're gonna crush it. Training their abs, I'm gonna do it exactly how I would do a man. So take these 4 glute exercises, look at the form, mirror it, and get growing your glutes today. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, Glutes TV.